Check, check, 1, 2. We back, official. OG show.
Yes, sir.
Live 97.5. I go by the name of A&D, and I got my main man Ski Boogie in the building. How you feeling tonight, brother?
Man, feeling good.
No doubt, man.
Good today.
Oh man, what a crazy week it's been.
Yeah, it's been a wild week, crazy weekend, but we here though.
Yeah, no doubt.
Man,
I'm gonna start the show off this week and talk about King of the City for a second, man. Let me say something about King of the City the other night.
Word.
First of all, we got this feed that, where all the battlers is talking back and forth. We only got 6 battlers that showed up. We needed 8 battlers for the quarterfinal.
Oh man,
So-
they ain't hungry for the money.
Yeah, nah,
They don't want the
two of them, weren't able to make it for whatever reason. They flaked. All right. So, as far as I'm concerned, man, the 2 battles we got out of the way was like the definition of epic. Now, I know I say 2 of them. The Vipper Bolo battle, that was real dope. After deliberating and after judging, Vipper had the upper hand because of experience. And experience only because Bolo has some nice bars. But let's talk about my man Smooth Tactics for a minute.
Word.
Y'all, I know everybody seen the video this week. Man, let me tell you something. Crazy.
They don't get better than
Crazy.
that.
And shout out to my man Bankroll Broly. He took the disrespect on the chin, man. I mean, battle is supposed to be peaceful. It's non-violent. You know what I mean? When you battle, you take what's coming to you. So, on that note, Smooth threw like $50 in ones in his face. He said he tried to come in this spot and blow the cheese, you know what I mean? And he really blew the cheese on him. So, with that being said, our advancing forward to our semifinal round, the King of the City, or Vipper Man, out of Salisbury. My man T Hood, he got a free pass last week. You got Smooth Tactics. And then you got 80 bars. Let's go. Semifinals coming soon. We're still looking for a venue. We had some issues with headquarters. So we got to find the right, ambiance for the semifinals. Because the final goes down at the OC Car and Truck Show. So that's going to be an epic platform to get their thing off for,
Man, that's a big stage right there.
And I don't know.
Very big stage.
Based off of the battles you've seen, Ski, who you going with?
You already know I gotta go with T Hood.
And T Hood been at the top of my list, but man, when Smooth came out and he ain't afraid to get his hands dirty, man. He really got his hands dirty on that battle last week.
I think T Hood, man, listen, I got right with man T Hood, yo.
Well, I ain't slighting 80 bars or Vipper to any level, but I would love to see a T Hood Smooth final. Real talk. But with that being said, we're going to see how it goes down in a couple weeks. The videos will be out this week, and it's going to be epic, man. King of the City, Live 97.5, the OG show. That's how we putting on, man.
Always.
Oh, man, I spent the whole weekend binge watching The Get Down on Netflix.
Word.
I ain't personally, I'm cheap. You know what I mean? I pay for my cable, so I'm not going to go out and spend another $10 on Netflix, you feel me? But my kids came from their mom's house. They had the passcode. They go ahead and set me up one time, you know what I mean? Hopefully, somebody ain't listening at work for Netflix, something shut us down or whatever. But, I got my binge watching. I mean, we're talking about this is like a 12-hour movie, basically, is what it is. And it's produced by Nas. And it's incredible, man. It is just an amazing show. It's an amazing look at what hip hop has came, or what it came from and where it's at now. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, most definitely, man.
And watching it, you know what I mean? I ain't go front, man. I watched the final last night. I got a little emotional at the end because I feel like that's our city right now, man. We coming up from the ashes and we creating something great for the music scene. So we over the OG show just trying to provide a piece of that, man. So, King of the City, you know what I mean?
So that means if you haven't seen the Get Down, yo, check it out.
Yeah.
ASAP. Let's go.
Yeah, dig into your Netflix crate, man. Go ahead and watch the Get Down. It's crazy. But we'll talk about that a little bit more later. I got a lot more to talk about with that. But I want to make a real clean, real quick introduction one time for my good homie. And I would say just a local legend on all levels. King Langston, how you feeling tonight, bro?
I'm alright, man. How you doing tonight?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. I can't complain.
That's what's up.
And I'm glad to have you here, man, because, you know, on the OG show, we ain't just about hip-hop or sneakers. We've had lots of artists on here. We've had lots of sneakerheads in here. But, yo, we local. We politics. We the community. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So, with that being said, you got your main man, your Ace Boom Coon, in the building with you. Rydah, what's good with you, bro?
Oh man, all is well, man. Maintaining, you know, living for the people. You heard me.
No doubt. And let me say this, going back to the King of City conversation. The first week, the round of 16, Mitch was in the building. And he was able to witness that piece of it. Now, Rydah was in the building for the smooth tactics. You know what I mean? It was just messy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, smooth, messy anyway.
So yeah, you know, and with that being said, off the top, like it needs any introduction. Y'all are community oriented, man, and both of y'all made an effort to come out and, you know, be a part of that thing, man. So, you know, mad respect to y'all for not only coming out to King of the City, but coming out to everything, man. So that's dope, you know. And I gotta ask, who's y'all's picks?
Well, you know, I gotta go with my little cousin's homeboy, man. I gotta go with T Hud.
Yeah?
Yeah, I gotta go with T Hud, man.
T Hood's a favorite right now, man. 100%.
Yeah, I see he came a long way. He started off like, come on, man, you got work to do. He came up.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Hood too, man.
T Hood too?
Yeah, I'm running with the youngin', man.
And I can't.
Not take down from Smooth, you know what I mean? Smooth, very comical. His bars is there as well, but you know we gonna rock with T Hood.
No doubt, man. No doubt. And just to make note, my man Pat Nixon in the building tonight. You know what I mean? He's actually gonna be our guest next week. We got Shina. We're gonna make it a West Side, you know, West Side Legend show.
Yes, sir.
This week's about positivity and talking about the community. Next week we gonna go left with it. You feel what I'm saying? We
Yes,
gonna go
sir.
left with it. But yeah, man, let's get into this first track one time, man. Man, Ski, I'm gonna let you introduce me because I read the title when you gave me the sheet and I was like, what, like really?
Yeah, I gotta cut the beat on that one. This next jump, or new jump, first up on the OG show, Joel Santana features Busta Rhymes, Jadakiss, Method Man, and Redman. It's called Old Thing Back. So turn your radios up and rock with us. OG show, let's go.
Yeah. Live 97.5, the OG show. And we back. Live and official. Man, I ain't heard that instrumental in a minute. Yo, that was fire.
Yeah, it was. Yo, the crazy part though, honestly, like when you download it, don't say clean off the website. That was my fault. It says clean, but it actually wasn't clean. So I apologize for that.
No doubt. Well, we'll keep it moving, man. Mitch, how you feeling, brother?
I'm good, man. I can't complain at all, man.
Rydah, how you feeling, my guy?
Oh man, I'm blessed.
So, this conversation tonight, we're gonna touch on some sensitive stuff, man. That's what we do on the OG show. We gotta get it out on the table. We need to discuss some issues. But first, tell me what's going on in y'all's world. You got your hands in everything always when it comes to the community. Talk about what's going on.
Man, as always, man, we do a lot of things in the community for the youth and the people in the community. That's what it's always been about since we started Spectrum Project, man, just being about the people. So, you know me, I coach basketball. I do the different projects. We do the mother-son dance, father-daughter dances, things like that. So we just going to continue on doing some things. We got some good things coming this summer.
Yeah.
I got honored yesterday, a lady by the name of LaKanya Frisbee. You know, she does food and things like that out of the Seaford area. She gave me an honorary ceremony, her and some other people that are real close friends, man. It was dope.
And that's
be
incredible.
honored and be giving my flowers while I'm alive, man. So
Listen, I would love to. We're the same age. We've gone back to Red Shield days. You know what I mean? And most of the cats we're having on the show, we all got history. You feel me? But man, I would love to be 31 and getting honored. You've done some good stuff in the community to get that recognition, my brother.
He's a little older than 31 though.
I'm 33.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's 33. Make it clear, we in our early 30s. Okay?
Early 30s. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, man, I just feel like, you know, it's always about the community, man. Like, you know, we come through from the gutter, man, to be real, you know what I mean, where we come from,
100%.
man. And it's just an opportunity to give back and go back to that place and say, you know, we ain't the richest, but at the same time, we try and help people get out of there, man, and show life can be better. So that's what it's all about.
And you know, my grandmother always said, you know, being rich doesn't necessarily come from wealth.
Nah, not at all.
So you know, you guys are instilling a lot of rich values in the youth around the community, man. So you know, money don't mean anything at the end of the day if you ain't got the quality of life that goes along with it.
Most definitely.
So, with that being said, we're gonna talk about a couple local topics.
Right.
Let's start with Headquarters Live.
Oh man, yeah. So you know, everybody that don't know, Headquarters Live kind of sort of got sold to the Daily Times. Daily Times gonna be coming back downtown.
Yeah.
It was kind of sort of a surprise to a lot of people because again, you had your event in there. There was some other people who wanted to have some future events in there, but that runs over into talking about, you know, they're gonna build an amphitheater downtown, and that's gonna be about $750,000 to build this amphitheater. It was in the Salisbury Independent, which is a paper I encourage everybody to start reading because it's a lot of information about Salisbury.
Now, Greg Bassett runs that.
Right, Greg Bassett runs that.
And he seems like a really good guy.
Oh, yeah.
The dudes that shoot our podcast, Vision Creative,
Right.
shout out to Cam and Jesse. They are right next to Greg's main office.
Yeah.
So
Nothing against nobody from the media outlets. You know what I mean? Media is the media. It does what it's supposed to do.
Mhm.
For those that don't dig deep enough, sometimes they don't get the full story all the time. But
Right.
media does what it always has done. So they ain't never going to change. It's going to be media.
So now, I mean, putting it on the table, Daily Times, Salisbury Independent. What you saying?
I say read the Salisbury Independent because it gives you more information about Salisbury.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If you're from Salisbury, read the Salisbury Independent as well. I ain't knocking the Daily Times. The Daily Times is just a broader Eastern Shore piece.
Now,
you know
did
what I mean?
the Independent, did they put out an article about Headquarters closing? I haven't had a chance to look at it yet.
I haven't seen an article in there yet. It just happened, so it was like I said, it was
Right.
a surprise to me.
And Daily
Coming up.
Times got the breaking news,
Right.
considering that they are the breaking news.
Exactly.
Right,
Most
right.
definitely.
And
Most definitely.
you know, I mean, it to be clear, it was not sold. It's been leased
Right.
by the Daily Times.
Right.
So for the time being, Daily Times will be there.
Right.
And Daily Times is, you know, a good media source. They're owned by the Delmarva Now brand, which is, I guess, owned by Gannett, which is a larger brand than. I mean, they own everything. It's like Clear Channel is to, you know, radio or whatever.
They the plug.
Right, exactly. So they got a little bit more push behind them. Whether or not it's a successful thing for the downtown, I'm part of the downtown community,
Right.
so it's important to me what happens in that 4-block radius. Now, you guys are obviously more concerned about things outside of that 4-block radius, and we've got some opinions on them, and we're gonna hold off on them for a minute. But you are also involved in that 4-block radius of downtown, considering that you guys are starting to do some, you know, poetry nights at the Brick Room.
Right.
And big shout out to Alex Scott for making that happen.
Most definitely.
And you know, to take away a music venue and say we're going to replace it with an amphitheater, is that a good thing? Do you think that's an accurate direction for what the city's going in?
I don't think it's accurate. I mean, I say have headquarters and have an amphitheater. If we trying to build, you have both. Like I said, with what we trying to do and what we've been doing, especially shout out to you. I'm trying to bring the Urban Arts Festival and
Right.
different urban things to
Right.
downtown to open up the culture and have more people come down and check out the venues and things like that. I think it's a step backwards for real. We already couldn't go in with, we couldn't get in Headquarters Live like that for real. So imagine how it's going to be for us to get the amphitheater.
I'm a just, you know, I come from a different perspective. Like, regardless if it's the amphitheater or the Headquarters Live,
Mhm.
you know, I'm representing up the street.
Yeah.
You know, you go up the West Main area, that ain't gonna affect us in any way.
Right.
So we need to create something that can benefit us to a certain degree.
Well, you know, what's crazy to me is that, you know, you got, I mean, in Baltimore or any bigger city, it's a normal thing. You know, you go down, you can literally walk 2 blocks one way, and you got the Orioles Stadium, you got all these great things that Baltimore has to offer. But then you walk across the street 2 blocks, and you got all these things that are great to offer, but then there's a lot of stuff that's being neglected in a city even as big as Baltimore
Right.
that need attention. And we were talking about it off air. You talking about the West Main Strip. Apparently, there's things that you explained to me that I didn't know that are politics involved. But at the same time, you know, that area is in need of revitalization.
Indeed.
And You know, I would say I'd lean to agree with you fellas. An amphitheater, I mean, how much does that cost? What's the cost behind that? What's the need for that?
Right,
What's the demand?
Right.
And if headquarters wasn't successful, which is privately owned, how does something that publicly owned fund itself? Because, you know, it might cost $750,000. I think that was the estimate for it to build. But then it's going to cost well over $750,000 to maintain over a 10 to 20 year period. So now you're looking at the depth of it. And, you know, I'm not trying to rock any boats or stir no pots, but that's what we do on the OG show. We're talking about this stuff.
Right.
So with that being said, you know, I think I see you every chance you can get to get into these meetings. Specifically, Jermichael. I don't know if you're going as well, brother.
You know, I try to, stay out the meetings.
No doubt.
I'll wait till you call me and fill me in. That's really my cup of tea.
Well, you know, these county meetings and these city plannings and all these things, Jermichael is invested in. And, he's on some committees and some boards. You know, they put you on a youth development board. Is that what it is?
Youth development.
Is that effective?
I mean, it's effective for what they trying to do.
Don't be politically correct.
Say it for what you feel. Are they putting a sock in your mouth, or are they giving you an opportunity?
No sock in my mouth. It's just one of those situations where I feel like it's already enough programs in the area. So to create new programs and then try to filter those programs into the area is kind of crazy.
Right.
When you have people who know the kids already, when you have people who know the areas already, who know the problems, I don't think you should have 80 people to a table discussing the problems and issues.
Yeah.
You know, especially when you ain't even brought the families who you working with or the families that you're talking about to the table to discuss the issues.
Well, then let's just get it out on the plan. You know, out on the table, and let's discuss this. You made some statements about the city's $58.8 million budget. You know, that's a large budget, but at the end of the day, it's a small budget for any city. You know what I mean? As far as a local city, $58 million can get eaten up real fast as far as public works and things of that nature. But with that being said, there were $0 involved for a community, and I don't want to say the wrong word, but a community center, right?
Right.
That's what you were ultimately aiming for, correct?
Yeah, that's what the goal has been for us for the past few years. You know, I've been maintaining my own situation for about 4 years, out of pocket. Before that, we would stop the violence.
Mm-hmm.
The goal for us was to have a place where kids could go for a safe haven. As a whole, we really didn't care where it was, what side of town it was on, but we needed to run it. It needed to be operational by us, and we felt like the city should sponsor it. You know, every year, man, like you said, we're a small urban city. We're growing.
Mm-hmm.
Our hospital is growing. The businesses are growing. Everything is growing. So when you have a $58 million budget, and then we're talking about a $58.8 million budget if it gets approved. That 0.8 could be done with community stuff. You ain't got to touch the $58 million. That 0.8 is a lot of things you can do in the community, a lot of things that you could start providing for the community youth that wouldn't even touch the major portion of the budget.
Well, let me ask you this. Is there money that's appropriated towards community events?
Well, right now, they have
stuff?
the youth development committee had $500,000 we were sitting on. It was allotted by the mayor, $500,000.
Okay.
But that $500,000 was only for more or less buildings, to buy buildings or to buy materials for buildings and things of that nature. Being that we couldn't really agree on a place and at the time, when we first started these meetings, the Salvation Army, the Richard Hazel Youth Center was in that uproar.
Correct.
So a lot of the attention that was spearheaded and steamrolled for us to go start our own community rec center was kind of dwindled off when that situation happened with the Salvation Army, the Richard Hazel Youth Center. So all the attention went towards that. How do we fix this? It's something that's already an establishment. It's something that's already there. We got to figure out this problem before we continue to talk about community centers.
Well, and tying in the, and I know not necessarily a venue like Headquarters Live will be appropriate, but then again, it's right across from the county library, so it could potentially be very appropriate. A space like the third floor up there could have been utilized, or second floor, excuse me. It could have been built out. It could have been made in some sort of, because they do the music academy. Where's the music academy go now? Yeah, and $500,000 seems to be, I mean, that would be an appropriate fund to grab out of and maybe start something out of. And I'm not saying it's the end result, because I'm sure there's more ambitious goals that you would want to have ultimately. But, you know, whether it's the Richard Hazel Center or whether it's the, you know, Brown Street Center that you have, or whether it's the top of Headquarters Live, doesn't matter where it is. How does that money get appropriated? How does it get used? And who do you trust to do that type of thing? You feel what I'm saying?
Right. It becomes different because, like I said, at this board meeting, I feel like we have a lot of people around the table who have been trying to figure out the problem and never ever figured it out. So why are they still at the table? It's time to bring new people to the table to work on the situation. It's a lot of people who they've tried. It's time. Their time is up.
Yeah.
And they just in the way right now. And no disrespect to anybody who is out here working for the kids, but if you've been trying for years and nothing you've tried has really gotten a result, it's time for you to get up from the table.
That to me when they doing it like that, it feels like they really don't want to make the change. You putting people in these positions that's not effective and really not gonna make no change. You got to put people in these positions that can relate to the children that that's we want to help. We trying to help. So when you keep certain people in these positions, it let me know like you just want to put up a facade. You faking. You really don't want to help the community out. You just want to look like you're doing it, and to keep us blind to the like, okay, they put this together, we doing this, but in all actuality, they ain't really helping.
So let me ask you this. I've seen your social media page, and that's where this conversation is coming from. Some would say that you put out misinformation and you go to more of the shock value for the attention of it. And we're boys. I'm keeping it a bean based off of, it comes from both sides, and what would your response be to that kind of thing?
My response would be, when we losing lives and we still got young African American men going to prison at an alarming rate, what other shock value needs to be brought about? What else do we need to talk about when there's nothing to save us out here? When you got people coming home from prison who are good men who still can't find a job or they don't have no programs that's putting us into the workforce, what other shock value do you need besides the facts? That's not a shock value. That's the facts of what we live and what we go through in our neighborhoods. We go back to the hood when they come home, try and help them find jobs, and it's hard. Nobody can't live off just working at a chicken plant. Nobody can't live off just working at McDonald's. Like, we just got to keep it 100. By the time you pay your bills, what money you got to live?
Right.
And that's where we are right now. We need trade. We need careers. We need, like I was telling Ski off here, why we got labor ready instead of a technical center where people can learn how to do plumbing, HVAC. We got labor ready where it's giving you money right now. By the time you run through that money, you're going back the next day working at labor ready.
But what about on one side? And I'm misinformed. I'm speaking just off of what I know. What about a one stop?
Well, it got moved. It was in walking distance. You took the one stop from in walking distance in the middle of the city to Warwick. Who gonna walk out Warwick? If I ain't got no transportation to Warwick or out that way, I can't get no services.
But at the same time, with the one stop, the waiting list be so long for certain programs. You waiting 6, 7, 8 months. By that time, when you be impatient, and you're a dude that's from the streets, and you trying to live right, and you get impatient after a while, so you can go back to the lifestyle. So to get back to what people may say about him, what I would say, if you not out here doing nothing, don't say nothing.
Well, and listen, I'm here to, we've got this on podcast. This is going to go online. This is going to go to YouTube. And I would love to see these clips, these conversations be put in the face of people, because sometimes, when you're face to face with somebody, it's a little harder to say exactly what you feel. We're raw here on the OG show. Right. We're going to talk about the topics that need, because we were YGs at one point. We were the youngins that didn't have a lot of direction. And, the community was being disrupted by drugs and crime. My father himself, has battled addiction his whole life, stuck up 3 gas stations around town. And I'm okay with that, because that's my testament and that's my story, and I can provide that to those youth that are coming into Dead Stock, and they thinking they tough, they thinking they really hard, you know what I mean? But I've seen, and you rep Butterbean, I rep Bone, you know what I mean? I've seen what happens when crime happens in our city. You know what I'm saying? And we're a result of that. We are a byproduct of that, because we're trying to do better, and we're trying to push these conversations on platforms. So, with that being said, I asked the hard questions so that it can be put in somebody's face and say, what do you say to that? How do you feel about that? Right. Because that's an important, aspect. When people make decisions, there's not feeling involved. But when it comes to the community, there has to be feeling involved. There has to be an emotional aspect. And sometimes, and this is my perspective on it, what you say comes from emotion. And what you speak on comes from a place that you care. Not to ruffle feathers and have people out here that are other antagonists on social media to utilize your words and spread them and bend them, because that's what happened, right? I mean, recently Daily Times had something to say about you and they used misinformation.
Yeah, they misquoted me Friday. Same thing happened to the council lady, Miss April Jackson. You know what I mean? Not to get into that too much, but same thing happened to her. She got misquoted. And then they ready to do the rigmarole. You know what I mean? They ready to tear us down. They want us to step down and so on and so forth. But like I said, we had a situation a year before what happened with Miss Jackson happened with a Wycomico County person that was on the council. Nobody said nothing. Nobody talked about that. The media didn't run to his house and knock on his door trying to interview him about what he said.
Right.
And we felt that. So we stood up to that situation, and that's the biggest thing. Not to knock you, but there is no tough questions. We standing forward and we ready to answer we debate anybody at any given time, and we ready, because we live this. This ain't nothing that's not factual information. You can't debate when you live through it.
Right.
Shout out to Miss April too.
Yeah.
When they was trying to, get her to resign, I be in her district daily.
Mm-hmm.
I see her often. Mm-hmm. So when they try to get her to resign, they never came to nobody in that district to get their opinion. So they going outside of her district to try to get her to resign, but come to her district and you can see the support that she has.
And it's funny you use the word they, because there's a lot of they in our community, a lot of negatives. The people that would actually be the ones to influence that resignation, I don't think actually felt that way. I mean, the local politics, the downtown politicians, I don't think they wanted this, lady to resign. She messed up. She said what she said, and they were okay with her moving forward. You were at the meeting.
Yeah, what's up?
It was a very heartfelt apology, and I think everybody in that room accepted that and moved on from it. Now, there are they in our community that continue to antagonize anytime they get an opportunity. And the media is the media, whether it's Daily Time, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram. If you're using your platform to be a hater, then you are they. You know what I mean?
But like, from the statement that she made, is it really worth getting death threats? This woman got death threats.
No.
Is it worth that?
No. But in the time that we live in, the day and time we live in, real problems that were existing 20, 40, 60, 100 years ago are still on the same platform.
Definitely.
And it goes unrecognized. And the young man that runs the man, I can't say him any different than the white man that wears the cowboy hat. He was out on the corner at SU with a Black Lives Matter flag. I didn't see any publicity on that. I didn't see it make
That's my
the
man
paper.
James. Shout out to James, man. He had Serge Delmarva.
Serge is what it's called.
Man, that's my man James. He good people, man. Cause and that's what a lot of people don't get about us. Like, I'm a humanist, you know what I mean? I'm a culturalist first, don't get me twisted. I know that my culture is screwed up right now, and there's a lot of things that go against us and hurdles that we gotta jump. We don't make no excuses.
Right.
We ain't blaming the man. We out here trying to work to save ourselves. But at the same time, there's people out here who are other cultures that's trying to help us as well.
Yeah.
That's when humanists come in. We care about everybody, especially if somebody's trying to help us. But again, those who are negatively trying to interfere with what we're trying to do, or those who are negatively taking us to a point where we don't need to be, we stand strong against that, no matter who they are, no matter what race, color, because we go through things in our own community. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm a hated man in my own community from some people.
Right.
Not to knock them, and I don't care what they got to say, because at the end of the day, I let my work speak for itself. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, we understand we're always going to face adversity, and we prepared for that. No matter what the adversity may be, we ready for that. And
no
doubt.
And I guess I would fit into that category of the other cultures, quote unquote, that are trying to help the community, because I don't. James and I are different. And shout out to him for doing what he's doing. He's doing a great job at what he's doing, as far as talking about history and making sure the cultural appropriations there and all that stuff. That's great. But I'm from the streets, not the rap hood, the real hood. You know what I mean? And I got 2 felonies, and I started my business not because I was white, black, or indifferent. I pulled myself up. I became an entrepreneur. I worked hard at what I was doing, and I am a testament now for every young dude that comes through the store looking to make something better for themselves. Everybody I hire is somebody that needed an opportunity. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to my young guy Eric. I mentored him in a program out in Mardella, and he came in and asked me for a job. He said, "Man, I need a job. I'm in college. I'm trying to do the right thing." I need to make some money. Done. I got you. Jay Moore, you know what I mean? Young dude, he's in the Army. He's actually in Army training right now. Shout out to Jay Moore. You know, he's protecting our country. And, you know, he wanted an opportunity to grow himself as an artist, give himself a platform. He practices his band in the store. And it's good for the culture. You feel me? And these are the things that we have to continue to do that y'all are doing on your own side. That, you know, you're opening your rec center, even when you don't want to make sure everybody's got a place to go, the ball, or do the right thing, do their homework, whatever it is. And I think the city needs to pay a little bit more attention to that and trust the people that are making a difference to continue to make a difference, but have a budget to do that on a better scale.
And that's all we saying, man. That's our most major thing. Again, when you got a $58 million budget, but it's a $58.8 million, that's $800,000 extra besides the $58 million. That ain't even gonna stop the major budget that we could be doing a lot with, man. You can give me $10,000, we're gonna make it look like $100,000. So that's just the process, man. We know how to make it work, and we've been doing it without a budget for so very long.
100%.
So imagine if we had a budget, the things that we could do in our community to help these kids believe, man.
And listen, my man Shabazz commented in. He said, white felon ain't the same as black felon. Don't get it twisted. Let's make it clear.
Shout out to Khalil.
I understand you, homie, 100%. But adversity's still there in any situation, however you look at it, my man. So I understand that. I'm sympathetic to what the struggle is. All I'm trying to say.
Khalil. That's one of my gurus. So
That's my bro.
Respect, man. He's an OG. I know who he is, man. Listen, I understand. But there's however it looks across the board, at the end of the day, we are coming up and we're trying to provide an element of structure for these young kids because frankly, in our city, they keep killing each other.
Right. To defend my man, though, it's definitely a difference, you know. But at the same time, we still got that strike on our record.
Listen,
it's a little harder, you know, when you a black man with a felony.
Yeah.
To keep it funky, it's a.
All I'm saying is I understand what white privilege is, but I got a G card too. You feel what I'm saying? So I get my G pass. That's all. You know, I'll speak on with that. And we keep it like that. Listen, man, we getting them tough topics out the way on OG Show. That's what we do around here. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat nothing. We're gonna say it for what it is when we on the OG Show. Ski Boogie, how you feeling, man?
Hey man, I'm just chilling and enjoying the show right now.
No doubt, man. Hey man, can you introduce this next track, man? Hey, shout out to Duran, man. Right now he's on tour with Wale.
Man, yeah, that's big. You know what I mean? Hey, this next track is called Shine by Wale. Man, he got some new stuff out right now, yo. I'm telling you, man, don't sleep on that, man. And this joint is clean.
No doubt. Live 97.5, and we back for the weekly segment. Rock or stop. We're going to stay away from, we ain't going to stay away from the sensitive stuff. Let's get right into it, man. I was talking about it on Donnie O's show. I said, man, I ain't going to talk about it. But you know what better show to talk about it than the show with my man Rydah and Jay Mitch on air with me. Yo, let's talk about the Ball Premium shoes that just dropped this week. My man LeVar and his young man.
Well, we were talking off air about the situation.
Mm-hmm.
I personally think it's a great business deal. I think he's a smart man. I don't think that those major companies should have faulted the young man who was out there putting in all that good work on the court because of what his father says.
Yeah.
You know, you can't always try to censor a person. Barr hasn't said nothing. He ain't the one out there running his mouth. It's his father more than anybody.
Yeah.
So I think that he still should have got a deal. Being that he didn't get a deal, I love the mentality of, okay, we don't need your deal. We're going to start our own line, do our own shoe. He going to wear it. He going to be a top 5 pick. So we definitely going to make some money. If we don't get rich, super rich, we going to make some money.
Yeah.
And we drop the price. Hopefully, they drop the price.
Right.
So
yeah, because that was my next question. Yeah. What about the price point, though?
You know, with my son, man, I would be heavily involved and with my son as well. I ain't gonna probably won't go to the extent as him. You know what I'm saying? But he protecting his at the end of the day. But when they go and create their own, and then the price is like almost $500, like really, like.
Now, the son's name's Lonzo. The pop's name is LeVar, right?
Right.
So, LeVar kind of gives me those momager vibes. You know what I mean? Like where he sometimes speaks for his son and says what he says. And if that's going to be what he says, then that's what's going to be his son.
Yeah, and that's where, you know, sometimes you gotta get your son's opinion as well.
Right.
But if you feel as if the decision your son making is a mistake, then as a father you supposed to be like, hold up, nah.
Well, apparently it was put out there that you know, they did 4,000 or 5,000 units of these. I want to say they sold like 200 of them.
Yeah.
200.
So I mean, that really says a lot for whether or not they're going to be able to make that impact, that splash for that price. I'm not saying do the Stephen Marbury and sell them for $10, $20. Nobody wants that garbage.
Right.
Nobody wants to put that on their feet. Nobody wants to walk around school with the $20 shoes.
Right, most definitely.
But yeah, let's fall into a Kobe. Let's fall into a KD.
I'm gonna start
price
wearing
point.
them joints. I'm gonna let them laugh at me. Like,
What, the
"Hey, you got
Marlburys?"
Yeah, I'm gonna start wearing them joints.
Listen,
Like,
if you
I'll
got
pay
some
$20
Marlburys, they
for
might
this.
be worth a couple dollars now, real tough.
The way he been balling in China, they definitely gonna be worth some
Oh,
money.
he been, yo, they
That's
made
where his shoes-
statues
that's
for
where
that
his shoes
man.
selling though. They selling out there.
No doubt.
That's where. They
But I
selling.
also would say, and just to say, man, like a lot of the times the black father is missing in the household. You know what I mean? To see a
Kudos.
man
Right.
who steps up to the plate and speaks
Yup.
for his son, and he has 3 sons who have the grades,
Yeah.
who are doing the right things.
Yeah.
You also gotta applaud that.
Yeah,
he
tip
can
his
be-
hat to him.
Yeah, he can be big headed, he can be very outspoken, but I applaud him for being there.
And
That's
you can
what
tell he
everybody
loves his
says.
kids
Most
dearly.
And
So
if we had more black fathers in the children's life like that, then we would see more of that. We just don't
See it as much.
see it as much, but it's
well, it's an
entertaining.
evolution, and hopefully this can be able to be the push.
Right.
But you know, it walks a thin line too. What I said off air, you know, you got these, you know, girls that look at these centerfold ads, whether it's the Source or whether it's Sports Illustrated or whatever, and you got these pinup models and their size -1. You know what I'm saying? And they've got these voluptuous curves, and they've got this big butt, and they got these, you know what I mean, big tatas and all that. You know, we're keeping it PG. I wouldn't say something else, but yeah, I mean,
don't
but
pay that no mind. I'm a married man.
but
Yeah.
what I'm saying is it gives the girls an impression of that's what they've got to be.
Right.
So
Right.
to me, you know, I look at this $300 to $500 price point, and I hear big baller brand, and it's like, yo, if you can't afford the $300 big ballers, then you shouldn't be a big baller. Does that give kids a false sense of what, you know, self-esteem and all that stuff? Does it affect them in that level? Because you look at like the kids that can't afford J's and they gotta wear the, you know what I mean, the
Right,
lesser price
right.
joints.
It's the same difference. So it ain't gonna make situations no worse.
True.
Because it's already that type of situation with the J's.
Good point.
So it ain't gonna really change nothing. It's just, you know, people go spend a little more money for that.
Well, and people can debate on players and the quality of the player and, you know, the LeBron versus Curry thing, but when you stack them apples to apples, what Steph Curry has done as an image, as a father, as a brand builder, as a, you know, a shoe, he's in the top elite of shoes, you know what I mean? And he sells a lot of them. And the price point ain't bad, considering that, you know, his counterpart, which is LeBron, his shoes average $200 to $250. You know, Steph Curry, he averages $100 to $150 per shoe. So I would like to say that, you know, something like that would be a better look from the Balls than, you know, something like the direction they're going in, because it just comes off very satirical, satire, you know, based, you know.
If anything, he could have just waited a couple years once his son proved himself in the league. Then he can go to him
Right.
on that angle, and they can be like, all right, let's
Because
go.
real talk, right now he looks like Puffy in the Shiny suit, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? He's out here big baller brand. We big baller. You
might
can't
come
be
in
big
the league like
baller.
Juan
Bop,
Dixon.
bop, bop, bop.
Where's Wild Dixon at?
Coaching, Compton State.
Exactly.
I'm talking about he's still old enough to play the pros, though. I'm saying.
Right. All right, so moving on. We're going to move on. Next week, we got a lot of spring drops coming out. The two that I picked, you know what I mean, I think right now, when it comes to runners, the competition is between the Prestos and the Boosts. They got 4 different colorways. I showed Jermichael. You was yet to get here, but the Prestos, they had 4 different colorways. They had a cement colorway coming out, and then you have the Boost. You got like 4 or 5 Boosts coming out. I sell a ton of boosts through the store. I mean, that's just what the kids are into right now. Depending on where they're from. I mean, certain kids still rock with the J's all day, every day, but then certain kids that are sneaker fashion forward are leaning to these boosts now. Do y'all like the boosts?
Well, that ain't really my lane. You the sneaker man.
No doubt.
I go to the store. I'm looking for deals and budgets.
No doubt.
I'm more with the Prestos than the Boosts. Prestos, they came out before they re-releasing them. So
Yeah.
if I was to rock either or, I would rock the Prestos.
Yeah, and Prestos, I mean, hands down, is one of my favorite Nike designs. I think that sock feel and then the structure to the shoe. The thing I got with the problem with the Boosts is that they don't provide that structure for your arch and your heel that it needs. You feel me? That support.
What's the price on it?
The price point on the Prestos, you're around the $1 to $120 range. The Boost, you're looking on the higher end, 150 to 180. So, budget conscious, you're gonna go with the Prestos.
I'm not gonna go with either one.
No doubt. All right, so changing that subject up, we're gonna stay on the Adidas. We're gonna stay on the Boost. Pharrell, have you seen these human race joints that came out?
I've seen them early.
Yeah, so it's the NMDs. What they are is basically like a sock base top, and then you got an Ultra Boost midsole. And that Ultra Boost, I mean, it's super comfortable walk on. Me being a big dude, I love them because they provide, just a level of comfort when I'm wearing them all day, every day. But again, going back to it, it doesn't have the structure. Now, Pharrell, he jumps out the box with these crazy colorways. He's got, and then he writes human race on them. And, his concept is peace and harmony, and getting everybody to wear the sneakers. It creates this level of peace and love and, all that good stuff. But at the same time, they so limited, you can't even get your hands on some of them. So what are we pushing here? What's the agenda? But he just dropped a pair this week. He actually has a tennis human race coming out, and it's more of a subdued look. They ain't got many colors on them. There's one, the midsole's yellow, the other one's green. Adidas has started 3D printing these Boost models that are apparently they've got better structure, better comfort than the Ultra Boost itself. What's your thoughts on them? Jermichael, you got to see the picture. What'd you think about the shoe as a whole?
I thought they were dope. You showed me the newer ones. The newer ones were kind of dope compared to the old ones, I feel.
Word.
They were definitely a fresh feel, fresh look type situation. So the new ones definitely dope. I feel them. But the old ones, they were kind of like you said, they look like all the other shoes that were out with all the bright colors and the different flavors. But
Yeah.
the new ones,
What you think, Skeet?
Yeah, all right. Not my style though.
Ain't rocking with them.
Nah.
Say less, man. Say less. Well, yeah, that's all we got for the Rock and Stock segment this week. But we about to get into this beating on your block.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that new Doze track called Dribble, then come back with a beat down your block.
And we got some crazy
Flex.
topics. Yeah.
Man, he got like, I ain't gonna say 1 million people, but he got enough people coming at him about this Tupac situation. So it's crazy for real. Like Flex is just
A fathead.
Like me and King Langston said earlier, he reaching too much right now.
Yeah, he trying to get some publicity, man.
Yeah, it's
Hey,
2017.
Them corn emojis. You know what I'm saying?
He dying out.
Corny. Well, we're going to get right back to it. OG Show Live 97.5. And we back, Live 97.5.
Yeah, we in the building. You already know what time it is. Beating on your block report with your favorite DJ, Skeet Boogie, beating on that block. All right, we're gonna start off with Funkmaster Flex. So here lately, he's on another rant. I guess the whole DJ Clue battle thing, he trying to ignore that and just keep ranting about other stuff.
Fathead.
You know what I mean? There was one interview he did not too long ago. Designer was up there. I don't know if y'all seen the joint or not. You know what I mean? Dude different in his own way. You know what I mean? Designer, y'all know him from Panda, Timmy Turner, all that stuff. Holy Ghost. Yeah. But even I just watched that video, even though he wasn't really ranting, but man, the way Funk Flex, like his facial expressions, like, dude, come on, man. Like, really? But anyway, all right, Funkmaster Flex says Biggie wouldn't have died if Tupac didn't lie about the Quad Studio shooting. Okay. Let me see. Back in 1994 is when that went down. Okay. It's 2017. So I guess Flex is bringing this stuff up, or his accusations, because what Tupac movie already come out, right? So I guess it's perfect time for him. You know what I mean? To stay in the news, to stay relevant. Okay. Number one, Flex, you still on Hot 97.
Fathead.
Yo, just stay in your lane. You know what I mean? Like, man. All right, so here it is. Funk Flex continues to catch flack over comments he made about 1994 Quad Studio shooting involving Tupac Shakur. In another Instagram live video, Funk Flex has added a layer of clarity to his claim that Tupac accidentally shot himself during the infamous Quad Studios incident, and basically saying that Tupac lied on Biggie. You know what I mean? So that's that's his reason is why Biggie was, gunned down or whatever. Oh man, how long has this been going on? I mean, not just what he's talking about. I'm just saying in general, the whole murder situation on both sides. And now Funk Flex, you gonna come out with all this bull crap, man? Come on, man, get a grip. So with that being said, you got Tretch, Little Kim, and a lot of other ones coming after Flex right now because of everything he's saying about the Biggie shooting or whatever. All right, let me see.
Fathead.
That's crazy, man.
Now, I mean, before you go into the second part of it, everybody, let's talk about it for a minute. Let's talk about what Funk Flex is doing for the culture right now, because it's nothing. He's not doing nothing for the culture. And I want somebody to soundbite this and send it and tag Hot 97 in it, because I'm tired of it, man. You know what I mean? We're trying to put on by talking about relevant stuff in the sneaker, hip hop, urban community. Funk Flex has got a platform.
Big.
Why aren't you using it for better than to talk about dumb stuff? Stop talking about dumb stuff, because you're throwing dirt on a dead man's name.
His card is played out.
No more
His
cards?
card thing. I mean, he just I don't know. My personal opinion, he's just trying to find the next thing to stay relevant.
So he's sitting at the poker table with no chips.
It don't make sense.
So he gonna pull the chips out of his pocket and try to throw it on the table like, yeah, this is $100. I got this from the other, you know what I mean? But no, man, stop that. Let it go. Let it go and stop putting your nose in places it doesn't need to be in. Then you got Suge coming in from jail, like, you know what I mean? Like, how is he even so relevant on current topics? I don't know, because it was out like 30 minutes after the whole conversation started, you know what I mean? But I guess shout out to Suge for having those kind of plugs in behind them walls. But, man, it's super whack.
Yeah, some things, man, you just gotta let it go, man.
It don't make sense. But man, like right here, it says Tretch continues to go at Flex. You are the evil that sparks wars. And that's true. You know what I mean? You sparking up stuff for no reason. It don't make sense. Tretch is not done with Funk Flex since Tretch called him out for calling Tupac a liar and denouncing his integrity in terms of how he handled the Quad Studio shooting of 1994. The noted by nature rap veteran had continued to drag the Hot 97 DJ on social media. Oh man, Tretch got involved. It's over.
And listen, you bringing an OG like Tretch out of retirement, like he don't even want to be on he's over that period in his life.
That's crazy. And it also to add to it, Daz Dillinger. You know what I mean? He even told Flex. You know what I mean? But, just let him know. He didn't even say much. He just said a few words. It was a little bit of split, but Flex know what it is. So hopefully he'll just chill out. Well, we shall see.
Until then, he gonna keep getting the same title from me, fathead. I'm over it. Moving on.
All right. On to the next one. Kendrick Lamar responds to an article about his fear of God. Recently, Kendrick Lamar dropped his latest album, Damn, which was met with praise by fans, along with many publications attempting to dissect the rapper's album, with DJ Booth even going as far as comparing Kendrick's expression of faith and fear of God with Chance the Rapper's approach. Since then, the rapper has responded to the outlet with flash out thoughts on the piece. Lamar spoke on how he left church services feeling envy, which led him to figure out his own truth with God, saying our God is a loving God. He's a merciful God, but he has even more so a God of a disciple, obedience, and a jealous God. And for every conscious choice of sin, we will be corrected through his discipline, whether physical or mental, direct or indirect, through suffering or someone that is close to kin. It will be corrected. All right, and then he also went on to say, Lamar concluded his statement by saying, I feel it is my calling to share the joy of God, but with that exclamation, more so the fear of God, the balance, know the power, and that he can build and also he can destroy at any moment.
So, layman's terms, what's he trying to say?
What I get what he's trying to say, man, you know what I mean? Everybody got their own beliefs, you know, but don't underestimate the power of God. That's what I get out of it. You know what I mean?
And that's coming from Kendrick direct.
Yes, straight from Kendrick direct.
So, so he's talking about Chance in what kind of light? What is his comparison with it?
I couldn't tell you. I mean, it's his own, you know what I mean, personal, you know what I mean?
This is my thought on it. Keep the politics out of religion. Keep the religion out of politics. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And when it comes to, you know, hip hop, it's a lot of politics. You know, and whether you're talking about the last topic, you're talking about this topic, you know, the politics need to stay where they are. If the man is dead, why are we talking about an issue?
Right.
There is politics involved with it. You feel me? So I understand. I'm fearful of God. I'm fearful of the wrath of God and my fate. And whether God, you know, it comes in a form of Allah, or it comes in a form of Buddha, or it comes in the form of, you know, what is Scientology into? What are they? Aliens coming from space? You know what I mean? Whatever the hand of God is, you gotta fear something, because the unknown is not to be known. You know what I mean? We question everything as humans, but in hip hop, I think you can speak that through your music and not necessarily gotta speak on it. You feel what I'm saying? And I think he really did in some of it. You know, breaking down the damn project, it was deep. You know what I mean? But the way Chance did his project, it was it felt like one of those church sessions you walk out of like revitalized. You know what I mean? You felt reborn. Whereas Kendrick is doing a lot of picking apart, microscoping the religious aspect of hip hop culture, or the political aspect of hip hop culture. And it's great for the game. I mean, there's definitely people out there that got a liking to Chance and a liking to Kendrick in their own ways. But what are y'all thoughts?
You know, I'm all about conscious music anyway. So
Right.
anybody that's saying something, I'm gonna be in tune with it. You know, I think you know, music should be an outlet to bring about awareness, whether it's political, cultural, religiously. You know, I just think it's an outlet that the artist should use to enlighten the people, teach the people. So, you know, whether it's so in depth where it's hard to understand, or it's making plain, you know, I love it.
No doubt. And that's I mean, as an artist, you have an obligation to influence people. I mean, that's what hip hop was about in the first place. Going back to the Get Down, talking about, you know, these young kids that just had a passion for, you know, the dude started, Zeke is his name. He's one of the main characters. He loved poetry, you know, and in a way that it seems like how they started the show, you know, it was like I don't know, like an educated sense. You know, he's fighting two lives between, you know, poetry. It starts by he's writing for his class in senior, you know, class. He's in high school, and then it transitions into him growing as an artist and becoming a poet through hip hop, or through, at that time, you know, the b-boying and the scratching. It wasn't even classified as hip hop yet, but he became this influence for, the setting is the Bronx, you know what I mean, and he became this setting for his hood or his area, and it came from that point where, you know, people can relate to what you're saying. They gonna pile onto it. That's what hip hop is. You know what I mean? It's a raw relatability that, you know, you got an opportunity to say it. You got now in fast forward to today's time in our society, in our way the hip hop world is shaped. Everybody's looking at hip hop now, and it's commercialized all the way down, which it takes away a certain aspect of what hip hop truly is.
Right.
But these artists, you know what I mean, they have an opportunity to vocalize and say things that maybe, you know, certain people still don't have a voice to say. So, you know, at the end of the day, if he wants to talk about religion, the way Chance talks about religion, you know what I mean? Chance says he speaks to God in public, you know what I mean? And that's cool. I'm good with that, you know?
But,
Yeah,
but them two artists also coming from two different religious beliefs.
True.
So whatever your whatever your religious belief is who you're gonna adapt to or relate to the most. You know, Chance come from a Christian standpoint, and Kendrick come from what is it? Hebrew Israelite standpoint.
Okay.
So it's two different. So if you're a Hebrew Israelite, that's what you're gonna lean towards to. You know, if you Christian, you can lean towards Chance.
Sure.
So it's just, you know, I love it. Everything for everybody.
Well, that's very revealing. I wasn't aware that he was had an Israelite background, because a lot of Kendrick's lyrics come down to almost like an eye for an eye mentality, which is, you know, I mean, a lot of the layers of what Israelite is, you know, is based off of moral structure, moral fiber, the fortitude, you know, and it's very basic when it comes down to the rules of how it is, you know. You do things a certain way, and that's how the way is supposed to be, and you don't question that because that's what it is. Whereas Christians, you question, you ask questions a lot, you know what I mean, and the self-discovery, whether it's through, you know, sexuality or you know, the idea of, you know, whatever it may be, you know, us as Christians speak, and it goes back to the hip hop as Kendrick's very structured, and he's very metaphorical, and he's very secretive, and he's very, you know, that way about things. And whereas, you know, Chance is more of like, you know, he's very, I don't know, loose and happy about it. You know what I'm saying? So that's dope. I never knew that, but that's very revealing to me.
Like whatever a person stand on, as long as it's making you a better person,
Right.
go for it.
Right.
'Cause that's what it's about at the end of the day. Betterment of self.
No doubt.
Self-preservation.
All right, I got one more story for Beating on Your Block Report, and it is Dick Vitale says LeVar Ball needs to teach Lonzo defense or he'll get lit up. So, look like Dick Vitale ain't worried about those shoes right now. He's talking straight sports. He ain't talking about the fashion, you know what I mean? Right here it says, it seems everybody got something to say about the new Big Baller brand premium Z02 Lonzo Ball prototype sneaker. All right. Much has been said about the way basketball dad LeVar Ball has done business, from his grandstanding in the press to his decision to turn down endorsements from the likes of Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour on behalf of his NBA prospect son. But most of the criticism that has come Ball's way has been in reference to its pricing. Hall of Famer Shaquille O'Neal, Golden State Warriors coach Mike Brown, and ESPN's commentator Stephen A. Smith. Oh man, you should have known. You should have known he was gonna have something to say, man. They all have responded negatively to the $495 price point. Now, to play-by-play guy has added his 2 cents. The legendary Dick Vitale taken to social media with his 77-year-old self to remind LeVar that he's got priorities that succeed his business model, any business model. Lonzo Ball shoes are $495 if he plays in the NBA like his dad, versus BBN, De'Aaron Fox. They'll go for $495. Vitale tweeted on Thursday, May 4th. Vitale has always had a mouth on him. He's made his name being one of the most energetic, loud, and voluminous commentators in the history of pro sports. But witnessing his transition to the social media age, oh man, could you imagine that though? 77, dealing with social media.
Gotta play defense, baby.
But this isn't surprising. he'd be so itching to exceed the 140 Twitter character limit. He returned hours later with his second tweet. At LeVar Ball, you better be working with your guy on D. If he plays D like he did in NCAA, Isaiah Thomas, he tagged all these people, Isaiah Thomas, John Wall, Stephen Curry, they will all light him up for 50. Vitale followed his take on the cost of the ZO2s. That was it. He just basically said, yo, you worried about the shoes, you need to worry about your son playing defense.
You gotta play defense, baby! Man, he's a classic voice, and you know, and he's, I mean, when it comes to basketball, Dick Vitale is an OG, so, you know.
Michael look like he on the grid.
I don't. Who plays defense in the NBA like that? You know, Patrick Beverly, a couple other people play D. The NBA is about highlights. It's about three-point shoot from long distance. It's about getting dunked on. Block shots is a good defensive one, but you don't get too excited when you see a steal. You know what I mean? That ain't what people watch the NBA for.
So you saying that Dick Vitale wrong?
I'm saying he's wrong. Basketball in the NBA is about excitement. Fans don't go see the best defensive player play defense. They go see the high, like you said when you mentioned Isaiah Thomas. They want to see him in the fourth quarter be dominant. They want to see LeBron dominate the game. They want to see Kyrie Irving cross somebody up. People ain't saying they want to see the best defender get a steal. That ain't what they saying about the NBA. So I disagree. I think that young man's gonna have a promising future as long as he goes and plays hard like he does in the NCAA, man.
He got mad over here.
Nah, not mad.
Nah, he was tight. The fundamentals came out with him.
NBA, though, like, you know what I mean? Who plays D, though? Who really plays D in the NBA? You know what I mean? They don't play over there.
Dick Vitale still got to be present. You know, he's still kicking it. He just let y'all know he's still here.
Almost definitely.
Similar to Funk Flex a little bit.
We out here.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the Beating on Your Block report for today.
Well, hold on.
What's up,
Before we get to that, you wrote this down on the paper. I want to talk about it.
Which one? Oh,
you
man.
missed the topic tonight.
Which one?
Puerto Rico, baby. What's going on with
What's
going on with the bankruptcy in Puerto Rico right now, man?
Hold on.
Because and we can talk about it generally before you get to the topic of it. Puerto Rico, man, what's going on?
Puerto Rico, from my understanding.
Oh man, it's about Puerto Rico to close almost 200 schools amid debt crisis. Puerto Rico has been suffering from an economic crisis that has caused many of the citizens to move to the United States. Pause. Okay. I'm just saying in general, like they've done moved, like a lot of them moved to the United States, but in general, okay, they actually they're part of the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's a territory.
So, right. That's what's alarming to me.
It's crazy. All right, so right here, now according to the reports, Puerto Rico will be closing 184 public schools. The move is being made to try and save millions of dollars for PR's faltering economy. According to the Associated Press, almost 27,000 students will be moved to other schools once their schools shut down at the end of May 2017. Puerto Rico officials were previously shutting schools from 2010 to 2015, which ended up with a total of 150 schools being closed. However, the mass shutdown of schools mentioned this past week will be the largest of any school closures in history of Puerto Rico. The move to shut down so many schools was largely due to enrollment steadily decreasing over the last 30 years, dropping to 42%. This is also ploy to help PR restructure part of its massive $73 billion looming debt. So they in debt $73 billion.
And that's a
All right, so
country.
hold on, back up. You know, and I think this is a crisis and something we need to talk about because, I mean, it's the same thing as when the levees broke. You know what I mean? Now, granted, the states getting federal assistance, they have FEMA come in and all these things, but you can't let a country that you consider a territory fall to the wayside. You know what I mean?
They letting Flint, Michigan fall to the wayside. What do you think they can do with Puerto Rico?
100%. 100%. And the thing is like, yo, we're funding a country like South Korea right now.
A lot of other countries.
And a lot of other war-torn countries that we ain't got no business dealing with. We got bankrupt territories that we have a declaration of ownership over. If we ain't got the money, cool. But we got money to put money elsewhere, then it should be brought back home and put in the places it need to. Right. I don't know the dynamics. I don't know the depth of it.
I would say this, man, like with a tourist area like Puerto Rico, You know, if it falls under for the people who live in that country and
Right.
everybody's trying to come to America anyway for the dream, now you got business people who can go to Puerto Rico and buy up the land, who can go to Puerto
Easy.
Rico and build new hotels and new
Easy.
casinos. So for some people, they wanted to fall under, just to be real.
To clear
'Cause
the
if it
board.
falls under, now people can go in. We ain't gonna say all politicians is crooked, but people can invest money in different businesses or corporations
99.99%.
that can go to Puerto Rico now and take advantage of that tourist opportunity. So sometimes everything ain't saved all the time, because again, if the rich people can go in there and take advantage of the poor people losing, that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna keep selling you that American dream to keep your population coming to America. And at the same time, we're gonna take your land and turn it into a great tourist resorts,
That's it.
casinos, you name it. Watch how Puerto Rico in the next 5 years comes back and grows. They're gonna be in debt, and something gonna happen where we come in and save them.
Buy it out.
And watch how everything turns around. We always do that. We always do that.
It's crazy.
Well, that's interesting to me because, you know, I mean, even on a local scale, stuff happens like that all the
Yeah,
time.
most definitely.
But I mean, when you got the machine that is the USA behind it, you know what I mean. Maybe it is a setup. Maybe it's something that we don't know that's in the
Right.
works, and you know, I mean, but at the end of the day, you know, Puerto Rico is a very proud country, nationality, you know, culture.
Indeed.
You know, yeah. I've had many Puerto Rican friends that are you know, very, very opinionated, very, very culturally connected with their own, you know, and to see something like that happen is, I mean, it's tragic, you know.
Yeah, most definitely. Most
So-
definitely. It's always tragic for us and for us to watch, but it ain't tragic for the rich people that's getting, you know, they licking their chops ready to buy land. They licking
Yeah.
their chops ready to buy the resorts and buy up that stuff. And to them, it ain't. It's just business. It is what it is.
Well, then that was worth bringing up, honestly, Ski, because you know there's a lot of truth in King Langston's words right now. You know what I mean?
That's why I said before we started the show, I said it's gonna be a good show today.
No
You know what I
doubt.
mean? For real, man. I hope everybody's tuned in and still rocking with us right now. But this is every show, you know, we top every show every
Yeah.
week.
And listen, we live on our OG show feed right now on Facebook. So if you want to find us and you want to watch us live right now, you want to comment, you want to give any feedback, go to Facebook, hit your search bar, type in the OG show, and me and Skeet's Ugly Mug's going to pop up there for you to click like. You feel what I'm saying? But let's get to this Beating on Your Block mix, man. You got a couple tracks for us?
Yeah, I got some exclusive joints
All
from the other
right,
day.
say less. Well, that's
Yeah,
what we
man.
going to do. Live 97.5, the OG show,
You already
Beating
know.
on Your Block mix. Let's go.
Let's go.
Wow, what a mix tonight. Beating on Your Block mix, always official.
Always.
Hey man, we're on the IG Live right now, Deadstock's IG Live page. Hopefully here soon we'll be coming out with a OG Show IG page as well.
Word.
But yo, we was talking to our feed, man, and my man Jake, he asked for that XO Tour Life. You made that happen.
Yeah. I had to give him a sample of it.
Yeah, no doubt. Shout out to my loyal Deadstock, you know, live listeners every week that tune in with me, man. Y'all part of the reason that we doing this, man. But man, let's get back to the local, man. And we were talking some, you know, not so positive conversations before. Let's talk positive on our way out from the OG show tonight. What's good going on in the community? What are you doing right now as far as, you know, for the adults, for the kids, whatever?
Right. Shout out to Chucky Smiley, man. Extraordinary League of Gentlemen, of course, man. We got
Shout out to Chuck.
we got a situation where we'll be feeding some people at the lodges on Naylor Mill Road this Saturday, like 5. If you're interested in helping out, definitely get with Chuck.
What you think, Skeet? You got time?
I'm sorry, was that a King Langston?
Oh yeah, we feeding some elderly on the lodges this Saturday. Chucky doing an event over there at the
Okay.
lodges in Naylor Mill from 5 to 7
Okay, I
on
should
Saturday,
be around.
man.
You got some time for it?
Yeah, I should be around.
Get back to the elderly? All right, that's what it is. OG show gonna be live with you that night, man.
Yeah, so we're gonna be there doing that. We also have my carnival. I have a carnival this Saturday. I do a carnival every other month.
And where's that
Me
at?
and Jenny Price. It's at my gym, 507 Callaway Street.
Okay.
We call it the Brown Street
Brown
Gym.
Street Gym, yeah.
So, me and Jenny Price. Shout out to Jenny Price, man. She's a lifesaver, man. Her and my whole team, man. Everybody's a part of my team. Shout out to them, man. They keep me going. That's how I'm able to do so much, man. I got an amazing team.
And I know for a fact that how many times Jenny's been there,
Oh,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
most
From
definitely.
shows back in the day we did
Most-
together
most
or whatever it
definitely,
was, man.
It's been a long
Yeah,
time
salute
coming,
to Jenny,
man.
yeah.
Jenny's big, man, and helping us do what we do at Spectrum, man. And it's definitely all love. And my team's just amazing, man. So that's how I'm able to do a lot of things, man. We still working on the adult prom. Been working on that now for a while. We just trying to lock in our location.
And what's dope is, I see, through feeds on Facebook, people are actually asking for that.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah. It's gonna be love, man. A lot of people. I didn't know so many people missed their proms. Whether they had a child and couldn't find
yeah.
daycare, they were suspended or
Mm-hmm.
dropped out of school, whatever. Man, they missed their prom. So we're gonna do an adult prom. Me and Jenny been working on that. And it's gonna be big. It's gonna be very big, just like all our other events, man. It's gonna be amazing for those people who didn't get a chance or who just want to redo it, want to get a chance to do it again, dress up to do something nice. So that's been all love, man. Again, you gave shout out to Alex at Brick Room earlier.
Yeah.
He's been allowing us to grow our poetry scene back up again. So that's been a blessing.
And one thing I want to touch on that I think is, unbelievable that you've done is the daddy-daughter dance.
Right.
And then the mother-son
Right.
mixer dance or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all do that at Brew River. You feed them like, nice little dinner.
Right.
And y'all have official DJ and y'all do the dance party and the whole thing with that, man. That to me, it touches me in a way, you know what I mean, that it's incredible, man, what y'all trying to do. And big shout out to Chucky Smiley. He showed out to the Urban Arts Fest last year. We have Goliath Gear T-shirts available in the Dead Stock SBY store, and we'll have them at the Dead Stock OC store.
Right.
So, y'all are making major moves to affect the community. And, those are the things that when we talk about the sensitive stuff and, people pointing fingers and blaming and accusing and making false accusations, they're not speaking on what good's done on y'all's end, man. Y'all really doing it.
Not at all, man. But and the thing is, we've been doing it for a long time now.
Yeah.
We've been doing it for a very long time, man. I teamed up with Chucky almost 10 years ago.
Right.
And me, Real Spectrum, we've been doing this now for about 7 years, 8 years with Jenny and them, man. It's been a blessing, man. We do a lot of positivity in our community. We always, the main thing for us with our focus, man, Andy, man, and as you know, is we just want an equal playing field.
Yeah.
We don't want what nobody else has. We want our own. And we want the opportunity to grow it. We want the opportunity to fix our own problems because we know we grew up in these problems. And we should just feel like, we should have a major say in fixing our own problems.
Well, and hopefully with the platforms that we have to raise, awareness and talk about these issues, just like the OG show. I mean, hopefully we can make a difference. And, I know that I've got an obligation, being right in the middle of things. I walk a thin line, because I got the street in my store, but I'm on the street with all the politicians and the people that make the moves. So, hopefully I could be a segue, and you already know I'm always there to support whatever.
I'll take away the hopefully though, like you doing it. Like that's the biggest thing. You know what I mean? Having us on the show, having a platform for people to come and speak, using your space as a platform for people to come and do their artistry. You know what I mean? Like that's what it's all about. And that ain't hope. That's doing. You know what I mean? That's the difference with a lot of people, man. It's the small things. Sometimes it ain't even got to be something big and major. We don't got to plan and make it. It's the small things because it's a lot of people who ain't doing the small things. You get what I'm saying? So
yeah.
That's where it goes, man. You ain't hoping, man. You're doing. That's the difference.
And you like to think that through small actions you can create hope for others.
Most definitely.
But
and that's the truth.
If we have the opportunity to make big actions, and that takes some pull, that takes some push to happen. Hopefully those hopes that we're creating for the community can turn into realities for our future, for our kids. You know what I mean? So that's really what the whole topic of the show is about. It's about positivity. Yeah, we're talking about politics, but at the same time, positivity is what makes everything come together at the end of the day.
And it just gives that platform to get people to understand, like, we got to get more involved.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest things, and one of the biggest complaints from the local politicians is we ain't involved like we should, and then we can make the complaints about the decisions that they make. We have to go to those meetings. We have to have more time. We have to demand more town hall meetings where they come to us in our community and speak to us as well, get our ideas, get our thoughts. It's just about having people there you trust.
Well, listen, we always are dropping pro tips on the OG show. We always talking about, doing the right thing. And, I'm calling out the artists, man. I'm calling out the local hip-hop influencers, the ones that are making differences. You know what I mean? You got to take a bigger role in the action and not just be, waiting for the reaction. If you take action, it's going to provide a lane that you could never possibly imagine. it'll open up for you.
Most
And one of the things that Jermichael and Jermichael started a little bit earlier than me, and he's taking a positive route from high school on. I got in a little bit of trouble. I made mistakes. I bumped my head, but we've created a lane for ourselves, and that lane keeps getting wider because we are taking positive action to create lasting impacts in our community. As artists, you got to look at it as an investment. Your time is an investment, whether it's in your music, whether it's in your craft, or whether it's in your philanthropy, because that's what we do. A lot of times, more times than none, it's philanthropy. You feel me?
Most definitely.
And I mean, Blockstock was a for-profit event in theory, but bringing people together is philanthropy.
Right.
I didn't make any money off of that event. The rain, unfortunately, kept that event, a little bit smaller than I wanted it to go. But 200 people that had never been in the downtown area to experience live music in that form had an opportunity to do that, and that was dope.
Yeah, that was real dope.
Unfortunately, that venue's not going to be there anymore very much longer, but we're going to do as many as we can until they close the doors. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, be on the lookout for more events like that coming up soon. But daddy-daughter dances, mother-son dances, proms.
Different. It's just about the community, man. Anything we can do to bring people together, to give them information. We have to bring them to events that they like, and then once you get them there, you get them the information that they need, or you try to let them know that you can be a resource in your community, man. That's what it's all about, man. We just want positive things to happen and stop to getting those negative cliches that we always get from our community. That's all.
Well, with that being said, we're going to put our words into action. Next Saturday, we're going to be out with you. Say it again.
Yeah, Chucky's going to be at the lodges, man. I actually won't be there myself. Chuck going to be there. I won't be there. I got a couple other events. Next Saturday, we got 5 events in one day.
Cool.
You know what I mean? That's how we grind, man. Like, we're going to be... And that's why I love Chucky so much, man, because we're able to do a bunch of different things and flow with each other.
So hold on, I mean, and it takes a village to raise a child.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Let's identify these events, and then maybe when we get off of air, you could go on your page and you can let them know how they can be a part of it.
We got the flyers, man. Anytime anybody needs volunteer hours, all you gotta do is get with us, no matter what it is, and we can help you with those hours through our events. So that morning, if weather permits, we're gonna have a diabetes walk. Our man by the name of Charles Dill has been doing that on good mornings. We go to the city park at 9 a.m. and we walk 2 miles for diabetes. It's just to bring some information to people because we don't eat well, we don't take care of our health. So we do the diabetes walk when the weather is well in the morning time. Then we have the carnival from 3 to 6. Then we have, which is going to be at Brown Street Gym.
Do you need help with that?
Any volunteers that want to come out and run the station, you're more than welcome to come out. Elmo's going to be there for the kids. It's a $5 fee for the kids, but they get 15 tickets with that $5 in it. And games is like a ticket, 2 tickets. No kid loses. They either get candy or they get a prize. That's one thing that we do, and it's just a small carnival, nothing major. Then we have the feeding of the elderly at the lodges that night, which is going to be dope. I have a middle school party coming back at my gym that evening for the middle school kids. I do that once every other month. We throw a middle school party for the kids. I have a safe haven to have some fun and do some things. And then We Are One Aces is a program that I coach for. I still have Kids Rock, but I coach for We Are One Aces, which is Andre Collins. I'm gonna link you with him. Maybe he can come through, talk about that a little more. But we'll be at Blue River. We got a party at Blue River that night where we raising funds for We Are One Aces traveling basketball program.
Yeah, please do that because we've been bouncing the idea. It's been a little common theme under the OG show. I would love to see a celebrity basketball event go together, kind of like how the camp was doing the Camp Classic. Yeah, but now that Andre's around, maybe he has a little bit more time to invest into it to make it successful.
And I don't want to speak on it because he'll speak on it more when he comes. But he's putting something in the works like that. It's a celebrity game for the We Are One situation.
No doubt.
He's definitely working on that to do that, and it's all love, man. We put our ego. A bunch of coaches put their egos to the side. Came under one umbrella. We came under Andre, man, allowing him to be the leader of the situation. And it's been very successful. I think my team right now, we won 3 tournaments. I got an 8th grade squad that I coach, and I got an awesome team, man. We about to go do some great things in the next couple of weeks.
Well, listen, again, artists, step up to the plate, man. You hear it. 5 events in one day. They got a strong team, but any assistance can be used and needed in our community. You got an obligation to step up. So, reaching to my man's Jermichael, King Langston Mitchell's page. Reach out to him, man. He needs some help. Make it happen. OG Show's going to be there. We going to be making it happen. Y'all can step up to the plate and make it happen, too.
Right. Yeah, most definitely. one last shout out, man. Like tomorrow is my man Butterbean's birthday. You know, Pat was here earlier. You know, that was our best friend growing up, man. So shout out to Butterbean, to his family and everybody that know Butter, man. He was a great dude, man. Still an unsolved murder, man. But we love him, we miss him, and tomorrow we celebrate him. So I definitely want to give that shout out.
No doubt. He's definitely a hood legend, man. That's what it is. Well, that's what it's. That's it, man. We done for the week.
Another one in the bag, right?
Yeah, man.
Hey, I want to shout out High Class of 2017. Thank y'all for having me last night. Rock the prom.
Oh, hold on. Check this out, right?
You know?
Check this out, right? So we were me and my girl. You know, I had an early night last night, so I was able to lay in bed around 10 o'clock. And I'm scrolling on my Facebook feed here, Skeet all live. You know what I mean? Got his little tie on. He looking all official. You feel me? But then check this out. I'm in the OC store today, and I'm telling these young kids about the OG show.
Yeah.
And they was from Salisbury. And I was like, y'all know DJ Ski Boogie? He was like, oh, yeah, man, he just did White High's prom last night. Yo, he had it lit in there. So yeah, that's what it is.
Big shout out to them, man. Class 2017, man. Pat yourself on the back for making it, you know what I mean? Great walk across this stage, y'all. Big ups. And big up to my niece, too, Shatira Russell, man. You know what I mean? She great walk across the stage, too, man. You know, a lot of youngest, man.
A lot of youngest graduating, man.
Yo, you getting old quick.
Getting old, man.
Hey, listen, man, we you don't get older, you get wiser with time. So, you know, pro tip from the OG show: graduate school, help your community. Thank you very much, Jermichael, for sitting in with us. Shout out to Rydah for being in the building. Next week, we got the West Side Legends in here. We got Young Shiner and we got Pappy Nixon.
Word.
Podcast is on YouTube.
Yes.
OG show on Facebook. Go like us. And we gone, man.
You already know. Shout out to all the fans and supporters. And my homegirl Legacy. We riding. Let's go.
OG show live 97.5.